guys. Happy hour is from 4 to 6.
Miss Kennedy, would you get me a medium dry vodka martini?
What is
Shaken, not stirred.
Hold on. I'm not hearing it right. Hold on. We got it now.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Make it Suntory time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Happy Hour Movie Chat. I'm so happy to have everyone here. Cheers. I am back to the summer sours, the Victory, the sour monkey. Again, it's just so refreshing and definitely a summer vibe. So keeping that going. It is super hot in New York. So trying to cool off with that. I'm sure it's hot everywhere currently because it's summertime and it's mid to late August. So, but either way, I'm happy to have everyone here. I apologize for the delay. I was filming with my two good friends, the Bone Bridger and John Automates, and we just got so wrapped into the conversation that we ran a little bit longer than normal. But neither here nor there. I'm going to go into the chat. We do have a great guest today. Backface is going to be joining me. You might have seen him on the Movie Cynic and Little Platoon's live stream. He has a great channel and his information is in the description. I highly recommend anyone watching this to check out his channel. It's really got some great content on there. And so yeah, he will be joining at 5 as my guests normally do. I'm going to get into the chat a little bit. I do have another Netflix in the mail that I don't know what it is. I thought we could maybe talk about that. So we'll get the party started. Happy hour. Cheers, everyone. And yeah, I hope you're staying cool. We have Tyler, great channel. He just saw, I think he's, besides Bone Bridger and John Automates and my boyfriend, I'm not sure who else saw the Vampire in the Boat movie, The Demeter, Last Voyage of the Demeter. And it's I think he would agree that it's so disappointing just because the actors brought so much to the table in that movie. My goodness, the actors were fantastic. The script wasn't even that bad, but there was just such a lack of common sense. And I know that, you know, it is one chapter in the book, and that does take place overnight and not throughout multiple days. That was the biggest problem that we both had with the film. You could have just left on a boat during the daytime and you would have escaped the vampire boat, but neither here nor there. Let's see what he has to say. Was wondering what comes out the rest of the month that you're interested in, because I can't think of anything other than Gran Turismo. So it's funny that you said that. I already did see Gran Turismo, but I actually am seeing Strays tomorrow, and I'm seeing Blue Beetle on Thursday. Strays, I feel like if you had told me it was going to just be like a normal Will Ferrell comedy, I do Will Ferrell, but he has not had a lot of hits as of late. But then you bring in Jamie Foxx as well, and like the cast seems ridiculous, and it's dogs. Like I'm gonna check it out. I mean, I have a feeling it might be a lot better than what we think it is. So I'm gonna see Strays, and then I do, you know, I always want movies to do well. I want movies to be good. So when it comes to Blue Beetle, I'm hoping it's good. My expectations aren't gigantic, but I will be seeing that on Thursday. So as far as that, Tyler, a lot of the movies I was looking forward to got made. I really wanted to see Challengers with Zendaya. I think that movie looks fantastic. And Poor Things, which I talked about last week, I think was also supposed to be a September release, and that is now pushed to December. So it's not a crazy huge month, but I think there will be some gems in there for sure. What's up? Hey, Drew. Thanks for stopping by. Who got the drinks? Definitely, I got the drinks, and hope everyone else does as well. Unless you don't, and then obviously that's absolutely fine. Chinese. Oh, Chinese food's really good. Yeah, I love Chinese. I have the best Chinese restaurant, like two what would you call that? 2 apartment buildings away from me. Great, my favorite. I've tried a couple of Chinese restaurants in New York, and the one on my block, the 2-second walk, has still stayed the same, in my opinion, as far as being the best Chinese food. So, oh my goodness, yeah. I go more of the tofu route. I do like a General Tso's tofu, or like a Kung Pao tofu type of thing. Let's see here. Oh, Luke, how are you? Good. I'm doing quite well. Thank you. Yeah. Again, I apologize. I was recording some stuff with other YouTubers, and that's right. We had some interesting topics that we were discussing. Hawkeye Hayoka edits on the road. Will be listening. Leaving a big like. Congratulations on 1,000 subs. Well deserved. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Very nice. People are talking about Chinese food in here. And I hope your drive, Hawkeye, isn't too boring or too long or anything like that. Actually, Andrew, that's someone who has been streaming with Bagface. So happy to have you here. And he is a frequent guest on Movie Cynic and Platoon. I enjoy his input when it comes to discussing films. So that's pretty nice to have you here. Let's see here. David, thank you for showing up and stopping by. No, I was very late today. I'm very, very sorry about that. So I'm going to go to one more comment just in the meantime, because we all love KB. So KB, welcome. Cheers. Happy hour, Tracy and friends. No sense in joining you for a drink. COVID is happening. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. I know there's another strain that's out and about there. I hope you recover quickly and you don't have to be miserable too much with this. I know it can be really rough for a lot of people, and it's these like random occurrences that we all think it's over, and most parts, but then you get people here and there getting it, and they're not doing well with it. So I hope you recover quite quickly, KB. We're all rooting for you here. So I'm going to take this time because I was so late. I'm going to just go through a new Netflix DVD that I have because it's a surprise. We'll see how it goes. And actually, if Tyler is still in the chat, I wound up watching after The Last Voyage of the Demeter, Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula film, and with Gary Oldman and oh my goodness, Winona Ryder, and that was quite nice. I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending, just because I felt like after everything Winona Ryder went through, to have her just, I mean, I don't want to spoil this for people. See, it is like a 30-year-old movie, at least at this point, maybe 40 years old. Just to have to kill Gary Oldman, I thought that was disappointing. I don't know if it was a happy ending, but at that point, you're kind of like, oh my god, you turned her into a vampire and all that stuff. And anyway, I thought she went through a lot. But so the movie I have, which I actually don't know what this is, so this must be something my boyfriend put on the list. It's called The Cooler. I don't know if anyone knows what this is. It doesn't even say who's starring in it, which is odd. It's from 2003. It says the unluckiest man in Las Vegas, Bernie Lutz, is employed by a casino as a cooler to diffuse winning streaks. But when Lutz falls in love with cocktail cooler, she becomes his lady luck to the chagrin of the casino's crooked director. I have no idea what this is. So if any of you guys have ever heard or seen this film, maybe it's amazing. It's a rated R, 1 hour and 42 minutes, as the disc says. I'll be checking that one out. I think, what was the last one? Was Al Pacino in You Don't Know Jack, and that was about Jack Kevorkian and the euthanasia, that whole thing that happened in the 90s. I have to say, I really didn't realize that he went to prison for 8 years. He was sentenced for like 8 to 15 years or something like that, or maybe 10 to 15. And he only had to serve 8 years. I think that's absolutely insane. And I don't know how much we've progressed with the whole euthanasia thing, but that's crazy to me that he had to go to jail for that long. It was an HBO film, and Al Pacino is phenomenal in it. It lived slow at times, and it didn't need to be as long as it was. But I could see why it had such an impact. It's a very interesting. On Livian says it's only 97 outside, nothing to cry over. Yeah, keeping it cool. That's what I gotta say. Not hot in UK, trust me. Okay, well maybe I don't know if that's sarcasm just because of that emoji. But Slip to Garcon, happy you're here. I'm hoping you're not schwitzing like we all are in New York. So, Double Future Podcast. Yes, Mika. I'm so happy that you're here. My goodness, there's so many films I need to catch up. I need to message you on Instagram about. I've seen quite a few. I'd love to have your take on. And actually, I would love to have you on this in the upcoming weeks as my guest. That would be fantastic. Really great, knowledgeable about film. Her and her sister do really great work. I highly recommend following them. As always, I always mention this. Most of the people in the chat do have a channel, and I behoove you to check them out. He agrees. Yes, I think he was talking about how, the acting and the script wasn't terrible, and then, just some really big plot holes with the Demeter, common sense plot holes with the Demeter film. Oh, yes, Katie, yeah. Found it slow and repetitive. Yeah, it's again, the caliber of the actors. I mean, every single person in that movie was fantastic. It's just really a shame. Because I think like a movie like that could be really interesting and well done. I don't know if it was budget or what, or just people not re-watching drafting script enough. But my goodness, what a lost opportunity. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would love for Mika. I'd love for you to give me your opinion. I mean, I have to tell you, I had the lowest expectations going to see this. I didn't hate my experience, but it didn't blow me away in the way I thought it would. But again, I will say the actors were tremendous and they did a great job. So it's one of those tough things. Lofty Pixels is here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Poor Things looks great. I know. Poor Things looks crazy. Yorgos Lanthimos. I loved The Favorite. I was lukewarm on The Lobster, just because I felt the end was so extreme, and it didn't necessarily make the sense to me that would be logical for someone to do if people know the end of The Lobster. But he's a very talented filmmaker, so I'm very excited to see this. It is definitely on my. I'm putting out an Oscar nominations predictions video very soon. I know it's very early, but it is 6 months away. You kind of have a gauge on what potentially could be Best Picture nominees, and Poor Things is absolutely on that list. But we'll see how it does. We all have to wait till December now. So we'll see. We'll see what the reviews are. We'll see what the reception is from the audience. Luke says, planning on Blue Beetle on Thursday night. Same, Luke. I'm hoping comes tonight. Yeah, I would think that Thursday night for a superhero movie is definitely going to happen. And no, actually, you're fine. Actually, December is not late at all. That's kind of December until I would say the latest mid-January, maybe early January is when you can kind of get away with that. If you're premiering in January normally, then you might not get any Golden Globe nominations because the Golden Globes are in January, but for the most part, you're fine for Oscar season. So you kind of Oscar season really starts, I would say, late, anywhere from super, super late October, mostly in November. And then throughout the Christmas, winter break, New Year, that season, that time frame is pretty much spot on, which is why you see Killers of the Flower Moon and there's a few. Maestro. The Maestro trailer actually came out today. That's with Bradley Cooper. He directed it and is starring in it. And it's a Leonard Bernstein biopic. It's a very artsy looking trailer. I have not heard anything about it as far as like an audience response. I don't know if it's actually premiered anywhere. As far as the festivals go, I would assume it's going to be at TIFF, but I'm not positive. That's the Toronto Film Festival, for those who know. So, but I mean, that is actually going to be a big Oscar contender. And I'm not sure on the release date on that one, but it's Netflix's, Oscar movie this year. They always have one ever since Roma, unless I'm mistaken. I think they might have done one prior to that as well. Anyway, no, it is not too late for Oscar season. That is actually prime Oscar season. So you're not off at all. Delated Entertainment. Thank you very much. Cheers. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet, Mika. Thank you. Again, I got to get you on. We gotta talk some stuff. Dementia and Scott is here. Hello, how's it going? Very good. We're all really good. My guest is going to appear soon. I have to send him the link because I'm a horrible host and I do that like last minute. That's my boyfriend, Max. I'm very happy to see him in the chat. Thank you. And he always is very supportive every week. So yeah, I still don't know. Maybe I should like scroll down real quick in the comments if anyone has ever seen this movie called The Cooler, because I just don't know what this is. And I guarantee, Max definitely put this on the list because I've never heard of it. Yes. So I guess when it comes to the box office, it's been pretty interesting. Barbie is still dominating tremendously. And I'm honestly fine with that. I think you can still have criticisms of a movie and still be fine with it doing well at the box office, because at the end of the day, we're all movie lovers and we like the box office to do well, and we like to see people going to the theater to see films. I'm not upset about that at all. And I would say, Turtles is doing actually pretty well. That's nice to see. It just made its money back. Gran Torino, I think, is going to do much better than we all expected, just because of how they delayed the film, and I think that was really smart. I just finished talking to Anime. It'll be on his channel, I believe, this week about that specifically, and I think that might be the surprise of the summer, of like how well he does. And I think it's because people want realistic stuff. They want stuff that feels tangible and real. I think it's getting a bigger praise than Fast and the Furious did by far. And I think it's like, okay, so you have two different car movies. It's just fantastical and over the top and borderline ridiculous. I don't even think it's borderline at this point. It just gets so ridiculous. And then you actually have a real tale about race car driving. With a great director, Neil Blomkamp. District 9 is one of my favorite movies of all time. And you see that the audience will react. The audience will come. They will react in a much Hollywood needs to stop underestimating the intelligence of the audience at this point, and they continue to not do that, or they continue to do that. They underestimate the intelligence of the audience. So I think that's the biggest issue. And I hope that when you see films like Oppenheimer doing so well, I think it is now in the top 10 highest grossing rated R movies of all time. It is still doing tremendously at the box office. People want real things now. I think we're all burnt out on CGI and superheroes. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these movies that I'm saying are real use an insane amount of CGI, but you would just have no idea because it's for like a window or a hallway or like a TV. Like there's stuff people do, but it's, my goodness, it is not like watching Ant-Man Quantumania. That's the worst example of how to use CGI, I would say. I'm going to go to the chat just here. Let's see. Did I spoil it? What did I spoil? I'm sure I did spoil a couple things. I don't know if it was the Coppola Dracula movie or not, but Yeah, I think that's the one I spoiled. I'm sorry. It's fine. I mean, it's not going to ruin your viewing of it. Keanu Reeves is, and I Keanu Reeves, but my goodness, that British accent that he tries to pull off in that movie is horrendous. But it's okay. He's not really in the movie that a lot. So, Alec Baldwin is good in that movie. Maybe The Cooler. Again, usually Netflix says who's in the film. This one has no one, so I'm not sure. I do like Alec Baldwin. I love 30 Rock. I've been watching 30 Rock recently. I never watched the full thing, so I've been kind of doing that. And it does take place at Rockefeller Center in New York, so it's pretty interesting to see that. The NBC studios and, where they do SNL. William H. Macy. Okay, well, then it is a slow burner. Yes, KB. But my goodness, did you sell me? Because I love William H. Macy. So, okay, I will check that out. Double and Mika, the great film, The Cooler. Okay, cool. I'm very excited to see this. See, this is why we have lovely friends like you all to join me and or help me understand what I'm getting from Netflix. That's Austin Tracy, I'll catch the replay. Gotta run. Just wanted to share some love later. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. Good news. I saw Oppenheimer recently. Well, that's fantastic to hear. Yeah, it's quite the experience. Actually, there's a YouTube channel while we're waiting for Bagface. There's a YouTube channel. It's a French channel, and it's kind of the equivalent to like the Criterion Collection in the US, where they have like a director or an actor go through the library. And I just, you know what, this is perfect timing. I just I'm gonna switch my battery and I'm gonna play the introduction to our lovely guest today while that happens.
You guys, happy hour is from 4 to 6.
Miss Kennedy, would you get me a medium dry vodka martini?
What a
Shaken, not stirred.
Hold on. I'm not hearing it right. Hold on. We got it now.
Is there alcohol in this?
Oh, God, honey, no. What kind of mother do you think I am? Why do you want a little bit? Because if you're going to drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Make it Suntory time.
Ooh.
Hello. Welcome.
I love that intro.
Oh, good. Happy to hear. I'm going to switch I'm going to mirror to you, actually, because I hate when I think I should just do that every week because it looks like I'm looking away from the guest and it looks ridiculous. This looks much better. So thank you for joining me.
No problem. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just discussing earlier, maybe you've seen this movie. I got this in the mail from Netflix, which is end of September, but it's called The Cooler, and I guess people in the comments said William H. Macy is in it. It's from 2003.
Absolutely have not seen that.
No.
No.
I didn't think so. I had no idea what it was. So, because my boyfriend also, like, we do the queue. We both have the app, so we'll add things. So,
yeah.
But I've heard it's pretty good. So.
Oh.
How are you doing? How is your channel doing? I know you've been doing a lot of editing.
I have. The channel's good. Yeah, I got a little free time this week because Cynic was sick and then he got all behind on writing, which is kind of nice. It's a nice change. So I've been working on my own stuff, and I'm like working on 3 videos simultaneously. So
wow,
I'm a little scatterbrained, at the moment.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I have to. I said briefly. Actually, I was recording with Bone Ridger and John Automates earlier, and I
Yeah.
told them I was having you on, and I told them both to check out your last video because I think it's very important. Um,
Thank you.
In the film community on YouTube, you can. It is easier to grow if you're just negative about everything. Oh, hi, Kitty. And I think that's good that you pointed that out because it is a bubble, as you've said before, and there are, millions, billions of people in the world that don't always have those views, and they will still
Yeah.
find you though. And I think that that's important. And I think they don't necessarily always want negativity on YouTube. So
Yeah, I was surprised. Like a few of the comments were saying that like they actually enjoy coming to my channel because I'm not negative all the time. And I was like, wow, that's actually surprising to me. And also, like, I've always had this obsession because I played music for a long time. And, when you're like, I'm going to move my camera a little bit just so my cat doesn't knock it over. When you're in a band, I was in a metal band, and you get a little pretentious, and you're like, yeah, I know what real music is, but I always had this weird obsession with trying to figure out why popular things are popular, and like instead of just brushing them off as like this is dumb music and people are dumb for liking it. I really enjoy looking at art that I don't enjoy and trying to figure out why other people enjoy it. And that kind of like transferred over to my film stuff, which is like, yeah, sometimes, I don't like movies that are very popular and successful. And I think it's important to like understand the mind frame of like why it's popular and why those things gather so much traction. Because there's a reason. There's usually a reason. People aren't usually just dumb.
I 100% agree with you on that. There is always a reason. And I think a good example of that is a film I was talking to the chat about earlier, which was The Voyage of the Last Demeter. I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it this weekend. I'm very excited.
Okay, so I will tell you, the actors are amazing. So it has other problems. That was my kind of feeling, and I'm not spoiling anything. The actors are so good in this movie, and the writing for them is not even that bad. But I think you'll see where it kind of falls flat, but it was still an enjoyable time. But like, I wouldn't say, like, I can see why it's not doing well at the box office.
Yeah. Is the actual craft of the filmmaking good? Because that's kind of what I was excited for. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's like I think that the actual chapter of the book is, it all takes place overnight. And then this movie takes place over a couple days where you do have daytime. And they don't really take advantage of the daytime. I'll just say that. But that's kind of where it doesn't make sense. As far as filmmaking goes, yes, really, really well done. I have to say that. And again, the acting and writing is actually quite nice. It's more disappointing because of what it could have been, I guess. But I hope we get like more versions of that. I'm all ready for more pirate movies at this point because but rated R pirate movies. I'm fine with that.
I mean, I was actually talking about this with my girlfriend the other day, just like how much I really still enjoy the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, even though it's very silly, I watched it again and just like, it's really good. Bubba, you always got to be the center of attention. Like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where like, it's very popular for a reason, and even if like, but I am very down for more rated R everything because I'm an adult now and I really enjoy things that aren't for children, even though somehow I always seem to end up at movies that are aimed right at children, and sometimes I enjoy them. Even like
Turtles was really good, and that was aimed for children, I would say. So
I still haven't seen that yet either. I'm
you don't like that
behind.
one. I know for a fact. Yeah,
you
like it.
So I live in Montreal, which is right above you, and we sent our smoke down there this summer. I'm very sorry, but we have our own rating system. Like the province that I live in has its own rating system for movies. And they friggin' rated Oppenheimer G. Like not even PG. It's G. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
That's very interesting. I don't think that the film needs. I don't think it needs a rated R
No.
rating. I think PG-13 would have been fine. And you guys didn't censor the Florence Pugh sex scenes, right?
No,
No.
absolutely
Okay, because there's a
not.
couple countries that did that. So, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, like, those sex scenes are pretty intense for a rated G movie.
Yeah.
So-
And it's weird, like definitely a G choice. Exactly, David. It's cool
The
living in
French
a
are like,
place.
whatever.
Exactly. It's cool
Yeah.
living in a place where like the culture is very much like we enjoy films. And when I moved here, like I used to pay, because I used to live on the West Coast, and I used to pay like $15 just for a ticket, and then it was like $12 for popcorn. If I wanted to go to IMAX, it was like $23. And then I moved here and it's like $10. Like if you want to go to IMAX, it's like $13. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. It's so cool living in a place that appreciates art and like wants people to go out and support it and makes it feasible for a family to do so.
Now, are those Canadian dollars?
Yeah, so it's like even less American. It'd be like $7 American to
Because
go to a movie.
my goodness, because it's like $25 a ticket here in New York, but I did
Yeah.
the Regal cinemas you pay monthly and then it's unlimited. AMC tracks how many movies you see a month, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's insane. So, and then they actually charge you more. And Regal has the best deal, and
That's
you
weird.
just pay a month fee and you see as many as you want. So that's great.
Yeah, there's like the theaters up here started doing that too. There's like I remember what in the chat you were asking one day. There's pretty much 2 theaters in all of Canada that own like 99% of the theaters. And they both started doing like a membership base, but it's not that good. I think it's like $5 off a ticket once a month or something, and then you get like discounts on popcorn and things like that, which is tight. But it makes it a little easier at least. But it seems
It does.
it's like the only way they could compete with streaming services now, because holy moly, I'm sure that having all those be so popular is taking a big chunk out of theaters, even though I don't know, Barbenheimer completely destroyed and like was one of the best weekends theaters have seen in a long time. But I can't imagine it's very easy owning theaters right now.
No, and they keep giving more. Even still, they're still giving more theaters to both films, and it is harder for smaller films at this moment to retain the theaters that they were trying to get.
Yeah.
Those movies are still doing strong. I talked about a lot of that earlier with I believe Oppenheimer is now in the top 10 highest grossing rated R movies.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's almost like beneficial that it got that R rating because it just gets to break random records like that, which is tight. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still dominating. And I will say every time I do go to the theater, I still see people wearing pink going to see it. When I think I was in the restroom when we were leaving the Meter movie, and Max, my boyfriend, was like, I saw a bunch of moms with their daughters that they had just taken, and I think it is that let's get to the theater before school starts again. So that's kind of continuing that as well. I'm happy for the films breaking these numbers. I think that's just fantastic. A movie you saw recently, I think you said you were going to see it, was Talk to Me. Did you see it?
Yes, I did. Have you seen it?
Good. Oh, yes. So
yes.
Yes. If it's A24, I have to say yes.
Yeah.
So I really loved that film.
That was like, I love horror, but lately, like the past few years, like I feel like I've watched so much horror that every horror movie I go to, you just know the plot. Like you're halfway through the movie and you're like, okay, I see where this is going. And then there's kind of no surprises left. There's like a couple jump scares, but this movie was actually good. And like, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but the writing is so good and it feels so natural in a way that I didn't expect. Like I thought some of it would be like, oh, that's cringy kind of like TikTok convo stuff, but it was like fitting in a way.
It was
I was
so
like,
real.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I loved how, like, this isn't really a spoiler. It's kind of a slight-ish spoiler, but the main character isn't really the protagonist of the movie, which I really
Yeah.
enjoyed. Like, it's such a different take on like a horror movie because you're not really rooting for the person that you're following for the entire movie. You're kind of like, you don't seem like the best person. What is going on? Yeah.
No, I love that. I kind of wish we could get into a spoiler talk, but I know a lot of the people in the chat, or at least not all of them, but quite a few have reached out a couple times saying A24 films are not available to them in their
What?
area. Which I know.
That's a damn shame.
It is a shame, and they are very smart with budgets. I don't know if their distribution just tries to cut corners where they can. I know who Dan Murrell, who is one of my favorite YouTubers. He used to be a Screen Junkies. He said, like, for him to see Past Lives, which was the other A24 film that came out this summer, he had to travel like 10 hours to a college town, and I guess they thought the one theater in that state should be like the college town theater because college students would want to see it. But it's just, it's crazy. It's a shame because those things are so much better than most of the ones that are, packing the theaters.
Yeah, I feel like like regardless of how many theaters they release, they're still making money, which is probably their like judgment, I guess. It's probably what they're going off of, is how few theaters can we release this into and still make money off of it. And I feel like A24 is about to have a nice renaissance, especially with the writer's strike and actor strike going on, and them being one of the only studios that can continue making movies. Yeah, I feel like in about like 6 months' time, there's going to be this weird surge of like theaters all showing A24 movies because they'll have nothing else to show, which will be nice.
Yes. There's a film by A24 that was supposed to come out soon, but the writer-director decided to, as an ally, delay it just for those purposes. But
That's
A24,
cool.
I want everyone in the chat to know, has agreed to everything the writers have asked for. So that's kind of why, if you are a writer or actor and you want to do an A24 film, you totally can, because they saw what they're asking. I'm like, sure, that's not a problem, because they have integrity.
Yeah.
Integrity is rare these days, so
that's like, it's just been so good for my arguments of people who, like, there's a surprising amount of people on YouTube that are not for the actors strike and believe like, they're all Margot Robbies and Robert Downey Jr.'s, they don't need more money. I'm like, yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
that's 2%,
And these theaters
right?
aren't making any money. They can't afford to. Like, what are you talking about? Do you know how much money these studios have? The fact that they're dropping $300 million on singular movies, and you still think that they can't like pay their actors properly. And they're like, that's not even mentioning how many bonuses they all get, like studio execs and heads and CTOs and all that. It just goes to show that if a studio like A24 that actually cares about making films and not just making content to make money off of, it is absolutely no problem, because they're not thinking of the bottom line at all times, even though I'm sure that's a part of the discussion. It always feels to me more like A24 is like they're trying to put out movies that people will remember a decade from now, which is nice. Feels good.
Oh yes.
Like, I remember Hereditary. I'll like never forget the first time I saw that movie in theaters. It just like crushed my brain in. It just imploded my whole head. It was just so good. Like, I guess, yeah, we can spoil that because it's been out for a while. I don't know how long it's been out. It's probably like getting close to, I'm gonna look it up. But the scene where 2018, it's been 5 years. Oh my God. The scene, like, I went in.
Only been 4?
It's only been 5 years. That was like right before the
Ari Aster has
pandemic.
put those 3 films out in 5 years.
Yeah, he's been working.
Okay, I'm sorry, but like if you've seen any of Ari Aster's movies, like those are a lot, and I just can't believe he put those 3 out in 5 years.
I
That's
feel like he's one
wild.
of those dude that's been like sitting on these ideas for so long, and like
Yes, that's true.
finally has the opportunity to do them. So he's like, let's just do the next one. I still have yet to
Yes.
see Beau is Afraid, which I'm sad about.
I can't wait for you to see it.
I know, and a big chunk of it was filmed in the city that I live in, which makes me even more excited.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. My I was walking around with one of my friends that I go to movies with all the time. Actually, he's the only friend I go to movies with. But he was like, "Yeah, I was just walking around one day, and I just saw Joaquin Phoenix like walking around in old man makeup." I was like, "That's so weird. That's so weird." But yeah, watching like I don't know why it's so polarizing, but Midsummer also like blew my mind.
I love
That
it.
movie's
Love
so fucking good. It's so good.
It is.
Yeah, like, and I guess it's like, I feel like it's different. I don't know if I feel like we were talking about this on Instagram because we chat sometimes, but like just appreciating other aspects of a movie other than like what is just served to you through dialogue and like script writing, like I have a big passion for film in general and like the medium of film and not just one aspect of it. And I understand, I think once you look into it and you try to actually make something on your own, which I've tried to, there is a short film on my YouTube channel that is just unlisted and buried into my history that no one will ever see because it stars only me. It's really bad. But like, you just really start to appreciate like every aspect, like the lighting, the blocking, the framing, like lens choices, the camera choices. Like it's just so much more than finding plot holes. And I think a lot of people, especially in the YouTube game, they get really hung up on like the script and like the story, which it's a big part of it. Like it's a major part of why some movies are good and some movies are bad. But there is also some movies that literally have no story and they're just like a visual masterpiece. And I'm like, hot damn, I will watch you all day. And I don't, it's kind of like, I don't know. Do you ever go to art shows or like, I don't know. There's tons of things in New York.
Like galleries or like an artist like show. There's a bunch of free ones in Soho all the time, and it's one of the things I do love art. I do very close to the Metropolitan Museum, so the Met, and I love going there. I mean, they have stuff from Egypt to the Renaissance, like there's so many different things that I love. I never get to go to galleries though, because I kind of always forget that they're going on and they're free and I should just go, which is really stupid. I've kind of nailed everything need to do for free in New York really well. But those are always going on. They're very cool.
Yeah. I'm shaming you right now, just so you know, for not taking advantage of the ridiculous city you live in. I tried to go to yeah. I do a good job. I lived in New York for like 2 months doing journalism and shit. I lived in Harlem, which was quite the experience. But I tried to go to MoMA, like Museum of Modern Art, and it was like $65 or something to get in. I was like, wow, I'm too broke, but I'll just stand in the lobby and look at a couple pieces, I guess. But the thing I was going to get to is like,
Fridays.
Is it really?
Fridays.
Oh, okay. I'm legit gonna drive down and go because I want to go so bad. But
you wouldn't. That's the thing. If you're only here for 2 months, like I would have known that if I was only here for 2 months. Like like when things are the ideal time to go and you don't have to spend a lot of money.
And I was working all the time, so it was like hard to find moments, But just going to galleries, that's kind of where I learned to like, I guess, interpret art differently. And like, one, galleries are nice because sometimes you get a little write up and you get like to understand kind of where the artist was coming from and what they're inspired by, what they're trying to portray. But also at the same time, like those I don't know, I feel like it's like a meme of, you know, just like really pretentious people going and standing in front of a painting for like 15 minutes and just taking it in. But that's actually like such an amazing experience and a nice thing to do, to just like let something wash over you and just try to understand and examine the feelings that you get from a piece of art. And not, you know, I'm not looking at like, are their lines straight? Or did they use the right brush strokes? Did they use the right colors? It's just like, sometimes you need to just let a piece of art give you an experience and then analyze that experience and like accept that as your experience, whether or not that was the artist's intention. And that's kind of the coolest part about art, in my opinion.
No, and that's a great example to counter the YouTube mentality sometimes when it comes to films. And I completely agree with that. And I was totally in two different mindsets for a second, and I'm trying to like get back there. You know what? I'm going to use this opportunity to go to the chat just briefly.
Yeah. Do it.
Just because I know I want to.
Sorry, I talk way too much.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're a great guest. Thank you so much for joining today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
I did. Okay, I want to tell you, Backface. After I watched the last Voyage of the Demeter, I wound up watching Coppola's film, which is, I don't think is Nosferatu. I think it's called Coppola's vampire movie with Old and Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder.
Oh yeah.
Which is an homage kind of to Nosferatu. I just don't want to screw up the name because I just watched it I watched it yesterday.
I think it's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes.
Yeah.
So right, okay. So yeah, that's kind of like what I did watch that right after because I hadn't seen it, and it was and they actually showed the Demeter part a little bit for like, I don't know, 5 seconds or less in Coppola's movie. Because it is a part of the book. So
yeah.
Anyway. Yes. So we were talking about Yorgos Lanthimos, which is the director of Poor Things with Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo, and he did The Favorite and The Lobster.
I haven't seen either of those. Are they good?
You should watch. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Okay, The Lobster is really good, except I don't like the end, but I loved The Favorite, and that's the Favorite. Olivia Colman won for Best Picture, and that not Best Picture, Best Actress.
Okay.
And Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz are both in that.
Oh, they're in the Favorite too.
The Favorite, yes, yes, really good. He's a very out there director. But the newest film for him, Yorgos Lanthimos, is Poor Things with Emma Stone again. It has Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe.
I will literally watch. I will watch anything Willem Dafoe does. Anything.
Perfect. Yeah.
Like
it was supposed to come out in September, but it's December now, so it's still eligible for the Oscars.
So many things pushed.
Yep. Some critics and press always judge what the studios think of movies released by how far in advance the embargo is. Demeter was the day before release. That's interesting, and I didn't even know there was an embargo for Gran Turismo, and I did a review like a couple weeks ago on it. Then all of a sudden, all the big YouTubers released their Gran Turismo review, but I saw it early because it's like a Regal surprise movie thing. So I I'm not going to get in trouble, I'm sure, because I'm a very small YouTuber. But
I think you have to sign things too. Like if you see it and you don't sign like an NDA or something, I think you're fine to do it. That's on the studio for not doing that properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I didn't have to sign anything for this. I did have to sign something for when I saw Dumb Money, which was, I saw it in February.
Yeah.
It was still not finished. So lots of green screens and stuff like that. And there was no score. So that I had to sign something for. So I won't do a review on that until the new one comes out. I think I'll do maybe what changed. Am I even allowed to talk about that? I don't even know. But
I feel like you must be. Yeah.
Yeah. The Uninspired Reviewer, happy to have you on. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know. I think you have. No, I think we don't. We both have. We both have streamed with him on Movie
Yep.
Stick and
Oh yeah.
Platoon. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. The last time I was on, I think, yeah, absolutely, he was there.
Good homie.
Netflix has 2 with The Killer. Oh, The Killer is David Fincher's newest movie, which I don't know. I'm so glad you pointed that out. I keep saying that Netflix's Oscar movie this year is going to be Maestro, is the Bradley Cooper film where he plays Leonard Bernstein. But I didn't know David Fincher's film was also a Netflix movie. So
Is it?
that's very interesting.
I hate Netflix. It almost bugs me when they get really good films. I'm like, God damn it. Like, I mean, I'll just, watch it in other means other than Netflix, but it almost feels like an injustice to good film to have it go to Netflix to me.
But it's still, at least these are still getting a theatrical release.
Yeah. What was that one?
that's good.
The Benedict Cumberbatch one, was it Power of the Dog? Is that what it's called?
I love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're removing it off Netflix. And it like won them Oscars.
No.
Yeah, they're removing
Wait.
it. I know. I'm like, why? Why would you ever sign a deal with Netflix to release a movie? That's actually fucking insane to me.
Didn't it win Best Picture?
Yeah, it did.
Or maybe it didn't, but I mean, I thought it did.
I'm pretty sure it won
my
Best
goodness.
Picture. Yeah.
Jane Campion, I thought, won Best Director. So, oh my goodness. Wow.
I know.
Benedict Cumberbatch was amazing. Like, in that movie, such a great villain. And if you haven't seen The Power of the Dog in the comments, he's a phenomenal villain. Oh my God. And the directing and like the shot, he's just towering over people. Oh my God, I love that movie. Sorry. It's a weird movie, but it's good. I like weird stuff like that.
Now it's gone off the face of the earth.
Oh,
Apparently, David said there's
insane.
physical release, but that's a damn shame.
Oh my goodness. Lofty, there is a massive bubble. I'm glad you people exist. LOL. That's very nice of you to say. I do the same thing. I just like being positive about film. We should collect. That sounds like a great idea. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to leave this to you. I'm going to put you on full screen because I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
I have thoughts too. And I'll jump in a moment. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do you? Here. So, The View with Drew. Here's a huge question for everyone. Do you think that Deadpool 3 will be the best Deadpool movie? I'm torn. So, I don't know. I'm a really big fan of the first movie, and I actually rewatched the second one recently, and it was a lot better than I remembered it being. And that kind of gives me some hope. Also, anything that Ryan Reynolds touches, I'm a huge fan of. So I feel like there's no way it will be bad. In his recent movies, I feel like the ones that he's been more hands-on with, like The Adam Project and what was that other one where he plays like an NPC? I can't remember the name of it. If anyone remembers the name in chat, just like send it and I'll read it. But they're both really good. And they have like a weird amount of heart. And I just feel like he's kind of catching his stride as a producer. Even that Christmas movie that he did with Will Ferrell, I know that wasn't really a hit with everyone, but I watched it and it was friggin' cute. I enjoyed it. It was a cool take on Scrooge and that kind of Christmas story, like classic Christmas story, a little bit of a different take on it. So I feel like Deadpool 3 might be the best Deadpool movie. I don't know. That's so hard. That's such a hard question. It just feels like it's going to be really busy. I think that's my holdup on it. It's like all the stuff that's coming out about it, how many people are going to cameo, and you have like Hugh Jackman Wolverine and all the old Fox X-Men coming back. I heard a rumor that Taylor Swift is going to play a character in it, which is different, I guess. I don't know. I also read an article the other day that Taylor Swift is actually a really good director, which I know that she directs some of her own music videos, which is pretty neat. But I was surprised to see someone talking about how she actually has like a really good grasp of the technical side of filmmaking and directing. So that was interesting. But I feel like not a lot can top the magic of Deadpool 1 for me, just because of how it was made and the reason it actually got made, like having fans just kind of swamp the studio by loving the little short that they put out so much that they ended up making the movie. I feel like it's going to be hard to top that feeling. But at the same time, I feel like Disney buying Fox gives Ryan Reynolds so much more to work with and riff off of that it could be the perfect movie for how much I hate the MCU right now. He could just completely, lean into that, which I feel like he will. So I'm excited for it, whether it will be the best one or not. You're muted, homie.
Thank you.
Got you.
I agree with you. And I also think Reynolds knows that it is going to slightly be the Wolverine show. So I think like he knows Ryan Reynolds is one of the most self-aware actors in Hollywood and knows what people like to see him do and how to be in films. And I think he understands that Wolverine coming back for this is a big deal after he was killed. So I do think he will balance that out quite well.
Yeah, here's to hoping.
I think this was to you. I had my pretentious era when I first started watching classic films, thinking there's something better. Then I finally saw a few too many bad ones from there. Yeah, there's like a lot of great classic films, and keep watching those. But just like every year of film, there's a lot of ones too.
Yep. That's why I see it as an art form, especially earlier films. Yeah. I feel like they're taken as better because it was people were pushing the medium. And I feel like when you have the opportunity to do that in any medium, you're going to get a lot more creativity and like there's going to be a lot more risk taking and you're not falling into tropes yet. You're not falling into like having studios demand certain things of you. So there's definitely a reason that classic films end up being better, but there's definitely good ones still. There is.
I agree. And I mentioned this earlier in the chat. There's a YouTube channel that I found recently that's kind of the French equivalent to the Criterion Collection's YouTube channel, where they'll bring like a director in and they like browse through all these movies like a library, and they'll pick one out and talk about it. And I believe it's Kino Lorber in France, and it's so interesting. I watched today actually the one with Christopher Nolan and Cillian Murphy did it together. And then the one before that, I'm trying to remember who it was. It was a director that we all love, and I'm just blanking on it right now. I do have Ari Aster queued up next for that. But it's fantastic. And one of them are the French directors or the old school director. I mean, they don't just have French movies in it. They're just prominent. I'm sure the channel likes when the French movies are discussed, rightfully so. But it is fantastic to see these directors and these auteurs to say like, oh, this movie from 1939 is one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever seen. And I love that. And then I add it to my list,
I always end up watching like, I don't know if you watch Corridor Crew, but they do some amazing breakdowns of things. And sometimes they'll break down like how certain movies from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s did like special effects, like camera trickery. Yeah. And it's the most mind-blowing things I've ever seen in my life. Like the level of thought and like execute, like the perfect execution of things that just can't even happen anymore because the studios don't have time to like let you do 100 takes to make sure that like two matte paintings perfectly line up with a mirror so that someone looks bigger than someone else. It's just madness. Yeah.
True. That's very true. Always show love to film old and new, even though covering new stuff gets channels more traction. So like, yeah, it does. I agree. Like I try to once in a while do something. I want to do more of that. That's more older stuff. I don't know about you, Bagface, but a lot of times when I watch a film that is older, after I'm done, my first instinct is to go to YouTube and what people have to say about it. Or an analysis or something. So like there's that opportunity is there. And I think it's more prevalent than people realize.
I think my issue was always like, ain't no one searching for old movie reviews. Like we're the weird ones that would, But
Right.
the reason I was always hung up on doing them, like I have like an hour of a Holes review written that I've never filmed yet because I'm just like, there's no I'm like, God damn, like no one's ever gonna see this if I put it out anyways. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. The YouTube game is weird.
I'm just putting out the rest of his comments here. Troll Hunter, it's got to be good. Dead Man's
Chest, really good.
Maybe gritty pirate movies could swing into the mainstream again. Yeah, I think they absolutely could. I'm ready for it. Fine. I'm like ready for more period pieces instead of everything being contemporary.
Yeah, I don't want to see a person on a cell phone in a movie again for like the next 5 years. That'd be great.
I think actually I think that's one of the reasons. Chevalier, I believe, it wasn't a huge movie. I didn't see it, but I think the numbers weren't terrible. And that was about an African American composer around the time of Mozart that was incredible. And I mean, I was interested to be like, I heard it was kind of like how people feel about Gran Turismo. I was like, it's a fine film, but it's not like gonna blow your mind, and maybe they could have done a little bit more, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
So bought the Blu-ray for the first Pirates movie a few months ago, and I've never seen the movie, so I'm excited. Oh yeah, it's good. That's a good one. I was hoping they were going to do that for Haunted Mansion and like that type of, caliber of a movie. And I didn't see Haunted Mansion. I just heard everyone's reviews, and I was like, oh, what a waste.
Yeah, it's such a waste of Lakeith Stanfield too. I don't know have you watched Atlanta?
I have not. I know him though from other numerous projects. I know it's on my list. I just don't know where to watch it. I think that's my problem.
Disney Plus. On Disney Plus.
Atlanta's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it was FX, so it's Disney. I
didn't know that.
Obnoxiously good, dude. Like some of the best writing and filmmaking that exists for the past decade. I'll never get over how good that show is.
That's really good to hear. I love Donald Glover, so.
Oh my God. And I just I went down a huge rabbit hole of watching like him and his brother are like the writers for it, like along with some other people, but them just talking about how like his brother literally went to college. Donald Glover just called him up one day because he was writing for 30 Rock. He like called him from LA writing 30 Rock and was like, hey, go get your degree in writing so we can do a TV show about our childhood. Hi, Kitty.
I'm sorry.
No. And like, yeah, Atlanta's goated. It's just so cool to see like a creator that you can tell has been stewing on an idea for so long, and his execution of it is just wild beyond belief. And it's such a relevant and like poignant commentary on the Black experience and like how weird it is. It's so good. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it. I literally had no idea that it's on Disney Plus. I think Disney Plus is like underutilizing stuff that they have. Like no wonder people are like, oh, I'm getting rid of it. And it's like, wait, there's shows like Atlanta on this.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's documentaries, but I didn't know that Atlanta was available through that.
I know.
Barbie should be Warner Brothers' highest grossing film in history pretty soon. Yep, it does. That's correct.
Yep.
And it's on track actually to become that. So
it's about to top Super Mario. So it'll be the top grossing movie of the year, which is crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Talk to Me is fantastic. Talk to Me 2 has already been. Yes, I know. I'm so happy that it was greenlit. It's a good concept for a sequel, though. I think I'm fine with that.
I feel like it lends itself to sequel really easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only ones where Bo's afraid. Talk to Me and Lamb. I didn't see Lamb. I heard it's crazy, and I want to see it so bad.
You think A24 would really be into releasing things in France, but I guess not. Seems like the market for it. I
don't know. Maybe that's how they keep their budget so low. I don't know.
Who knows?
That would be their. Yeah, I would think that's like their number one. I get Beau is Afraid, for sure. You guys didn't get Past Lives? I would be shocked if France didn't get Past Lives. That seems like right up that alley. Okay. Yes, A4 does support creativity. WGA demands are more problematic than SAG negotiations. I support more residuals. Yes, I agree with that. Ari is God. Speaking of Little Story, I rewatched Bambi a few nights ago, first time in 7 years, and it can actually be called a visual masterpiece. Sometimes you need a movie like that. I'm assuming he's saying, is there another Bambi than the Disney Bambi? Because I don't want to seem like an idiot.
Animated. I feel like it's animated. That movie
it is a gorgeous masterpiece. I just didn't know if, we're going that way. That's the biggest problem with the Snow White remake, is like you took the most iconic and most important animated film and are destroying it because of nonsense.
Yeah. I don't know who I don't know who's running PR over there, but like, my God, like the smartest thing Barbie did was really like tamp down on their actors saying things that would spark up a discourse before that movie came out. Because it really, like, it became about the movie and less about like going to see it because it either agrees or disagrees with your political leanings. I feel like they really should be doing that with Snow White. Like, hey, we did a new take. Why don't you guys just come watch and see what you think? Just leave it at that. I don't understand. Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. Lance, hey, just got done eating dinner early. I'm going to watch Toy Story 3 and The Incredibles and Shrek 2. He always has like 3 movies lined up, and I'm like, that is a big night, but enjoy all of them.
Those are all bangers. Those are all banger movies, so you'll have a great time.
Lanthimos is amazing. Killing of a Sacred Deer is best, in my opinion, and Dogtooth is great. I've never seen Dogtooth, but I would like to. The Lobster is totally bizarre in a good way. Not sure I'll see it again though. Yeah, I've been meaning to show my boyfriend The Lobster, and every time I'm going to, I kind of just like choose something. I mean, it's not bad. It's just the end is so disappointing to me. I think that's my problem with it. But I also though revisit a movie and you're like, oh, like I was like too hard on this, or like I just didn't get it at the time. So I feel like that might be the case with The Lobster. So yes, it does.
Thank God.
Jane Campion, the only one who won anything Oscar-wise. Okay, I wonder what won Best Picture. Oh, you know what it was? It was that it was Coda. Coda won that year.
Oh,
which I actually really liked.
I've never seen Coda, which I probably should.
Oh, you'll like it. It's actually really good, and I think that was it's the safer choice, but I also could see why people would like it more. It's not like a Green Book or anything like that. Like it is still a really good movie. So I do not know about this animated Christmas Carol movie that year with Luke Evans and Rouge. Never heard of that one. I don't know if you have, but I certainly have not. Dude who loves movies, he has a great channel. Everyone check him out. What's up, everyone? Don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. And to everyone in the chat, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to Bag Face's channel. It's really fantastic. He puts out really great content, and I'm very thrilled to have him here. So I hope everyone checks him out if you haven't. All right, I'm back. Actually, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
Everyone's welcoming him back. Classic films are generally written better, 30s, 50s. Yeah, they probably had to put a lot more effort because you're not putting out what we're putting out with the streaming services, all the content that's being put out there. You have to be like, okay, we're making this, and this. They better be good.
Yeah, when you're shooting film, it's like we got 3 takes, so your actors are always on, and like, yeah, there's also like good breakdowns of kind of like postmodern writing and like meta postmodern writing, and it's really cool to look at why writing has changed over the years and over the decades, and it kind of leans itself. It's really cool. It's all wrapped in like, you know, economic strife and where things are politically and all that, and it's interesting because there's definitely more reasons than you'd think to why writing was different in the past versus now. It's neat to learn about.
This is for you.
Oh, yo, I could. My old movies aren't old movies though. I don't usually touch on like old classics unless they're like really like esteemed, you know, like Citizen Kane or something crazy. But I really enjoy like bad 90s and early 2000s movies. That's my bread and butter. That's what I always go back to. John Tucker Must Die is just so fantastic, and I would love to do a review on that movie.
You should do a reaction to John Tucker Must Die.
Yes, I should.
You know, most people blow up, and I find those. I'm not a big person that watches YouTube reactions, but my goodness, their channels. I mean, the views on that are I find them very boring, but I can't get over the views.
The reach. Yeah, it's insane.
I've told this chat before many times. Like when I first like revamped my channel a little bit this past year in February, I did do a Golden Globes nomination, or no, I think maybe it was Oscar nominations video reaction with my boyfriend, and it was like I just wanted to put out content at that point. And I was like, okay, well, I'll set up the camera here, we'll watch it, and we're in fucking robes, and it's like so boring or whatever.
That's one of your biggest videos.
I know. It's the biggest video. I hate it. Like I hate it. Like if there was just like set up a camera and just like let it record. We barely talk. It's so boring. And it has the biggest views. I don't get it. And it's the weirdest thing. And YouTube is bizarre. So
YouTube, yeah. I'll never understand the algorithm. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No. I'll do like this year, like when the nominations come out, I'll do like a reaction that's like actually like put some, you know, production value into it this time. Because I think that's fine. But but these people that just watch movies and react to it, I've wanted to do trailer reactions, but I'm just so nervous about the copywriting. I don't know how people get away with that stuff. So.
Honestly, I don't know either because I'm not monetized, so I don't even got to worry about that shit yet.
No, I'm not yet either, but I'm close. So just because you get the subscribers doesn't mean you don't have the watch hours, but I'm getting there.
Watch hours are so hard to get.
Yeah.
Yep.
They are.
Out here struggling.
So the uninspired reviewer said, nope, we didn't get past lives over here. Okay. Once you see past lives, you're going to be shocked that they didn't put this in France. I mean, it is. Oh my goodness. Actually, the uninspired reviewer is still in the chat. Have you seen Passages? Are you going to see Passages? I'm looking forward to seeing that. I know it takes place in France. And then the other movie that I would love to ask you about, which is a huge Oscar contender, is a French film. And it is called, so the American version title is Anatomy of a Fall. It won the Palme d'Or, and I'm just very curious about that movie. If you've seen it, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, I want to hear your thoughts of that film in the chat. Because it will most likely be that one international film that makes it to the Best Picture list. So I'm curious to hear that. There's Bambi 2, which was made like 60 years later. Really?
I did not know that.
Me either. That's very interesting. Commander Nerd says, hello there. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Hello.
Your cult boyfriend, good live stream. He does commentary and reviews and discussions on certain like teen soaps from different eras. So it's a fun channel for sure.
That's some of my favorite.
He does other things too, but yeah. It is a really good show.
Listen,
Perfect.
I'm only smart when I'm talking to Tracy because she deserves the best. On my channel, things
Wow.
are dumb. I'm about as basic as you can get, but I'm aware of these things. I just don't, bring them up because people look at you weird, when you get all heady and you're like, "Oh, I went to college, I know what postmodernism is." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, sure." If I got to look up a definition to, watch a YouTube video, usually I'm out. So I try to keep things simple over there. My name's Bagface, I can't be bringing actual content and conversation into my videos. It's got to be lowbrow down here.
Wait, I'm sorry. Your tagline isn't "everything's too woke."
No, I
Just-
I love the wokeness. That's me. I'm all about it.
Sophia Bush and John Tucker Must Die.
So good.
Still have to see Past Lives. I know you recommend it. Yes, I do. I think it is going to get a billion Oscar nominations. I can't wait till it becomes available for streaming. I think that is happening very soon. So everyone look out for it. I need to do a review just to get people to watch it.
Oh, I
So
have
good.
heard of this movie. It looks really good. Okay. It's on my list now.
Yes, I did this. So it is releasing in France in September or at the end of August. And then I think the US getting it like a month later, I believe. If I'm correct. I could be totally wrong, but I did read that you guys haven't actually gotten it yet, but it did premiere at a couple festivals. I'm very excited to see it. That actress is the potential as well to get a Best Actress nomination. Cool. Yeah. And Passages is not, again, it's not, and I should have phrased this. It is not a French film, but it is a very small artistic film or indie artsy film that does take place in France. And it has Ben Winshaw. I don't know if you guys know who that is. The actor, the last thing I saw him in was Women Talking. But I think people probably know who he is. They've seen him in some things. Loving this perspective from up north. Bagface, it's close, but seems so far away. I've told him we want to visit you guys because I think it's like not that far.
No, it's like 4 or 5 hours, I think.
Yeah, we would love to do that. I've never been to Canada, so
what? It's nice.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's pretty nice. And the city I live in is freaking cool. But I got to come down to New York because I've never been to a Broadway show on Broadway. I went to bad Canadian versions. Yeah, so there's some things I got to do down there. So I'll come hang out with you guys, and we can. We should go to that outdoor theater that you were at the other day because that looked friggin' cool.
Oh yeah. Actually, every park has outdoor theaters in the summer. It's really crazy. This was just, I didn't know we have a small park in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I didn't know it had movies. So
that's
at all. So
insane to me. Okay. That's so cool.
Yes, good. Are you on Letterboxd, by the way, back this?
No, not enough. I think I made one, but I've never actually done anything with it, and I probably should. Because it feels like a good place to get good movie recs too, and look at other people's that I would enjoy, like yours.
Yeah, thanks. Well, it's fun to also just look back. I like to do mine, categorize them by the month, so it's kind of like, okay, this month I watched all of this, and it's I don't know, it's weird, but I like it. I don't write reviews though. That's way too much effort. I'd rather just make a video about it. No. But some people are making YouTube videos of their reviews and then also writing an essay on Letterboxd and cheers to them because my goodness, I'm not doing that.
That's some little platoon shit.
Yeah. He should have a Letterboxd. Do you know if he has one?
I don't know. He's a very secretive dude. I'll probably be able to hunt it down. He should.
Yeah.
But it would all just be 1 stars. Everything.
Yeah. The Uninspired Reviewer, have you seen Raw 2016? I have not.
I haven't either. I'm looking it up.
No.
Ooh, on Apple TV. I'm gonna watch the trailer later.
And save this, the Maestro trailer. You should watch it. Bradley Cooper.
I just watched it before we started.
Oh, good.
Holy
Yeah, I love
cow.
that, actually.
That was one
Yeah.
of the ones where I was like, why Netflix? Like, why would you put this on Netflix? My God, it actually looks so good. Yeah, I know. God damn.
It's gonna get a wide release, though. It will.
Yeah, but I just like, as bad as studios are, I really wish that some of these movies were coming out from like real studios and would have real runs where, I'm not like, it's out for 2 weeks and I'm like moving around my whole schedule to try and go see it, like Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm literally leaving like a week of my life open because it's only going to be in theaters for like a month. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to go see it. Then if I really like it, I'm going to have to go see it again. So I'm going to have to like plan like time to actually go.
Who's the theater for that?
Which?
You're saying that has a really small distribution? Killers of the
I think it's
Flower
only
Moon?
going to be out for a month in theaters
Oh my God.
because it's
Well,
Apple
that's
TV.
horrific.
I know.
Oh.
Which is, I don't want to watch that
They have
movie on a
money.
computer screen.
They have more money than Netflix. I'm surprised it's such a low run.
Apple has more money than God. They are an insanely large company. But
Yep.
yeah, like, they're just trying to push people to their streaming platforms so they can make more money, which I get, but also
I
like,
get it.
yeah, I don't know. I just wish
They put out great content on their platform, and I still don't remember to go to Apple TV, which it's a bad on my end.
it just makes
So-
me wonder, like did Bradley Cooper go to a bunch of studios with the idea for the Maestro and they were all like, no, and Netflix was the best option?
Maybe.
That seems insane to me. That seems like madness to me.
Well, Netflix always wants their Oscar one for the year. So,
Yeah.
and again, someone in the comments said David Fincher's movie The Killer is also a Netflix movie. So, or The Kill, so it's one of those.
Yeah.
Rome was a beautiful film, very slow, but I really liked it and I found it interesting.
Yeah.
And then you have Scorsese's, which was Netflix, The Irishman, which took me like 3 settings to get through, even though I liked it. It was just
I still
very
haven't.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to. Yeah, to be honest, you don't have to. You don't have to. It's fine. It's good. It's just, it's not his best, I would say. One of
Yeah.
my least enjoyable Scorsese films I've ever seen. So,
Scorsese doesn't miss
that's going
often.
to be his for this year.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Scorsese doesn't miss often. There's
No, he
there's just he's one of those directors where I won't even realize I'm watching a Scorsese movie. Like, there's just some that I didn't realize were Scorsese movies, and I just go back and I'm like, oh, that's why I love that movie. That makes so much sense now. It's like Spielberg. Spielberg's one of those too. I'm like, damn, I've always loved this movie. And then you look and you're like, this is Spielberg? What the hell? Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm in Michigan, so I can go south to Canada. Okay, yeah,
Hey.
there's an area.
There's a little bit.
I know Kira said we have to do an outdoor theater in New York. Want to try rooftop cinema? I don't know what that is, but that sounds awesome, and I will look into it. So then, when you do
That sounds
visit,
cool.
that we will do that. They used to live in New Jersey, I believe.
Yeah.
And now they live by Boston. If I'm incorrect, I'm so sorry, but I think that's
Ooh,
true.
That's a big
Film
move.
Cinema, very intentional director of Titan. Oh, okay. That's the one. I think he's referring to the one that got the Palme d'Or. That isn't seen, but maybe I'm wrong. So, sometimes with these, this will be the last question for the chat. And see, very curious that Carrie Mulligan has top billing over Bradley Cooper. Maybe they're hoping she gets Oscar love. She always gets Oscar love, so I don't think that's a concern. And he always gets Oscar love, so I'm not sure, but maybe she's more. I don't know. I know if you know anything about Leonard Bernstein, maybe it's because she might give a more complex performance because what she discovers with her husband, but I don't know.
Yeah, she felt like more of the focus from what I got from the trailer. Like, it feels like you're kind of taking her perspective throughout the trailer, so that might be why.
And I think if he's directing it, and even though it is a biopic, I could see why it would work better if you're directing yourself in a biopic to almost put the focus on a person's spouse. So
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
so we're getting to the end here. I wanted to ask you if you want to promote anything for your channel, anything you have visions of, or what you're putting out soon.
I'm actually working on a video right now that is very different. So I guess the main one that'll probably come out next is I don't know if you probably don't troll Twitter as much as me, but there was this like video that came out of this girl trying to shoot like a TikTok flash mob in a Target, and the Target employees don't let her do it, and she calls them racist. So I'm doing a video on that, and it's very funny. I'm very excited. I even wrote a skit for myself. I'm filming a skit, which is a first for me, and I've always wanted to do that on a YouTube video where like you kind of talk to yourself, because I talk to myself in real life, so it's kind of natural to me. So that's about all I got coming up. And then yeah, I'm going to see Blue Beetle this week. I don't know if I'm going to do a review on it. I'm trying to think of how I could do kind of a different review on it, something different than is usually done. So you might see that at the end of the week.
No, that sounds great. Yeah, I did see. I'm going to see Blue Beetle as well. So that I think that would work. I think it's a big question. I think it's gonna be a hot topic for quite a bit. So that I think that would do well. And I also would say I do watch. There's a few commentators like you're talking about the next video you're doing that I watch religiously. So I think you have a really good personality for that type of thing. The current pop culture stuff going on Twitter and things like that. I think I'm excited to see what you do, because I think that category of YouTube just skyrockets. So I see that in your near future. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
Sweet. What do you got coming up?
I'm doing a really early Oscar predictions video. It's 6 months away, and I've noticed a couple of channels that are movie channels that are into the Oscars. They put them out. I think it makes sense. It's guessing out of a hat, but I really think if you can think about what's going to be nominated for Best Picture, it's pretty easy to do that at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm putting that out soon. I'm in the middle of editing that. So.
Oh, I feel like that's hard to get. There's so many that I could see being put in Best Picture right now. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you right now, everyone's going to hate this. Barbie's going to get a nomination. So.
You think for Best Picture? You think Barbie will get a nom for Best Picture?
I do. There's 10 nomination slots.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not saying it deserves it, but I think if it's going to it's probably going to have a Best Director and a Best Screenplay, or Best Supporting Actor from Ryan Gosling. So it's going to have something, and I think it's one of those like Top Gun, Avatar. It's when it's that big at the box office and it's not a superhero movie. I'm pretty sure it's going to get it.
Yeah, so that's fair. I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you everyone in the chat, and we'll see you all next week. And thanks for stopping by.
Bye, friends.